Hello and welcome to the Bold Outdoors YouTube channel. Today we are just outside of Central City and we're going to do the Yankee Hill Trail. There's a new staging area there outside of Bald Mountain Cemetery, which is really neat that the town of Central City and the Forest Service set up for all the UTVs, ATVs, and trail rigs. That way they can unload easier rather than down the road. I was getting congested there next to the newer neighborhood. But I guess that's what happens when newer neighborhoods move in. So right now we're on our way to the main trail here to get to Yankee Hill. We'll pass by a campground. And this isn't going to be like a mile by mile video, but I'll just do some highlights along the way. Trail 739. That goes down to the Columbine campground. And there's going to be several different trails that we'll be on, so there isn't really one numbered trail that we'll be on for the entire route. As far as I can tell, this is my very first time being here. And it's actually my first time being to Central City as an adult. As a kid, my parents used to come up here quite a bit until they legalized gambling. And we haven't been back. It's changed a lot. It used to be a little tiny old mining town when I was a little kid. It had some cool little stores. It had a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum there. And now the casinos have taken over in the hotels. It's a lot different. A lot of new neighborhoods too. But the trail rating of here, you know, being in a RZR, the trail ratings are significantly easier than what the Jeeps say they are. A lot of times the Jeeps will like say it's a 9 or an 8 or whatever, but to a side-by-side it's like a 3 or a 4. Not very hard at all. And where they're going like 5 miles per hour, an ATV or a side-by-side is able to do 20, 30, 40 miles per hour. So it's hard to say. This being my first time here. However, I take the trail ratings with a grain of salt, so to speak. And from what I could tell also, it's about 15 miles one way. From the new staging area to, looks like a little town called Alice. On the very end, it's about 15 miles one way. So, there you have it. And for those that have been following along, when I got the 32-inch Tusk Terabytes and the Tusk beadlock wheels, I was down near Las Vegas, closer to the town of Mesquite and Bunkerville, a couple weeks ago, and bombing through those trails. And I got a pinch flat on the driver's side front here. Just blew out the sidewall. Wasn't going particularly fast. I honestly didn't pay attention to what rock I slammed into or ran over. And yeah. So I was able to take about a dozen plugs, able to shove them into the sidewall, get enough air into the tire, and make it back down the trail. Had the air up again in another 20-30 minutes, top off the tire and keep going. I believe we're about 18 miles from our home base, so to speak. So that kind of sucked. But the sidewall seemed extremely thin, shoving those plugs in there. So I'm not too keen on these tires. You know, I was running 12 PSI. Alright, now we're at a junction here. So, unfortunately, the Polaris Ride Command app does not show these trails. And I have the map. And the motor vehicles use map. I'm gonna go this way. That's the unfortunate thing with these trails out here. They're actually, they're not on the GPS. No motor vehicles. I mean, they got GPS. You get lost, you turn around, find your way back. See, like here, Jeeps was finding this difficult, but you know, a RZR doesn't even break a sweat. Alright, so here's the marker for 171.1. So I think we're about right there, if that's showing up on camera. And it looks like we'll stay on 175 the majority of the way to Alice. So that's where we started, down here in the staging area, made it up to here. And so we'll take off. Yankee Hill looks like about 2/3 of the way to Alice. There should be some old mining sites along the way that we can take in. But again, this isn't going to be a mile by mile video, so to speak. I'll just show some highlights along the way. But so far, it hasn't been difficult at all. I live about not quite 2 hours away from Central City, and it's all highway, so it's not a really big deal to get up here. And getting here first thing in the morning, you know, there's nobody around. So to continue, I'm not too highly impressed with these tires. They're a fantastic value for the price, I think. But getting a pinch flat at 12 psi at about maybe 25, not quite 30 miles per hour is disconcerting for sure. But they do have a lot of grip. I feel as though if you're moving at a good clip on a gravel or dirt road, you can definitely, you know, steer with the throttle, you know, kind of kick the rear end around. You got some good feedback on the trail conditions, so I do like them in that aspect. They are lightweight, that's a good thing too. I did not want a heavy tire, but a heavier tire means a thicker sidewall, and it might have been able to handle that pinch flat a lot easier. Other than that, this machine has been absolutely awesome. Have almost 800 miles already. So I'm coming up due on changing the differentials. We're currently in low gear, which is definitely a lot more usable with the aftermarket Assassin's Level 2 tune. Having a turbo at high altitude is awesome. At high altitude, you definitely feel a difference between the lower elevations and the higher elevations, naturally aspirated. And yeah, the turbo makes up for that. So far in the first 3 miles, there's not really much in the way of rock crawling or true off-roading. There's another little staging area. Interesting. I would say technically that was the 3rd staging area. I wonder how busy this trail gets then. It is almost 7:30 in the morning. I'm the only one out here. There's some fresh water there. Someone came through that puddle. There's some rock crawling. How's it going?
Good. Nice ride.
Thanks.
That's pretty.
Did you go all with Alice?
Partially.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to be perfect for that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've been here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've been coming up there for a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes in quite a ways. It gets pretty rough up in there, but nothing for that.
I'll hit it doing 50.
Fun.
Is there like old mining sites too, like to take pictures?
There's a couple of good spots up in there, but the other one, you got to look up Pickle Gulch. It's on Road 119.
Okay.
You got to go outside of Black Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the Missouri Creek Road.
Okay.
That's where the old mining towns are at.
Okay.
That's the old mining town. That's in like 10 miles.
Okay.
And it's called Pickle Gulch.
Pickle Gulch.
Yep.
Okay, I'll look that one up.
You'll like that one.
Okay.
This one's good though.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll like it. Goes well. I've been riding since 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, are you down there at the station area? I was like, somebody beat me. I'm almost always the first one on the trail, you know?
Oh, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Get in, get out.
Exactly. That's what I say.
Everybody gets here around 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yep. Yeah, I'm on my way down there coming up, and I'm out of town. Yeah.
Have fun.
You too. Drive careful. Nice guy. We're almost at Yankee Hill. It's prohibited to leave. Blah, blah, blah. This must be Yankee Hill, I presume. That's pretty. $175.1. There's quite a few Spurs. 175.3. 175.4. 175.4A. And they got 3. It's like it said 3H. It's a lot of little Spurs there. It's always been my tactic to do the main trail, start to finish, and then on the way back, start hitting off all the offshoots and the spurs and alternate trails. What's that one say? 271.G. So that's where that one comes out at. Fair amount of snow. 175.4D. So, huh? I don't know. We'll figure it out later. When it comes to new trails, I try to research and Google information about the different trails and find routes and trail descriptions and whatnot. I wouldn't say all of them are fairly accurate. I see a lot of discrepancies, and then like I said earlier, the Jeep guys will give trail ratings, and they'll give it like a difficult rating, but it really isn't. Especially also you have to pay attention to when Jeep guys talk about time. They'll say, hey, this trail is 4 hours for them. You know, on the side-by-side, that 4-hour trail could be an hour and 15 minutes in a side-by-side. For example, Storm Mountain from the trailhead, it takes a Jeep a little over an hour to get to the top of Storm Mountain. And I have a video in an old 800 RZR. It's not the quickest machine out there, and I did it in 9 minutes. So that kind of gives a discrepancy between what the Jeep guys do and what the side-by-side guys do. And that's not putting down Jeeps. I mean, I grew up with Jeeps. My dad always had a CJ7 continuously from like 1980, 1979, 1980 until 2014. Yeah, I think he sold it in 2014. So he always had a CJ7. He had a 1980 CJ7 until 1986. It got totaled in an accident. A Mustang hit it head on. My mom came out okay. And they got a brand new 86 CJ7, the last CJ7, and my dad had that exact same CJ7 until 2014. So I grew up with off-roading and Jeeps, and it's definitely slow going. Wow, you get a Toyota up here. 175.1. I'm not seeing a trail sign. Let's see what this says. Let's go this way. I'm not seeing a sign that way. That kind of tells you something when you see a passenger car on the road. I've seen a couple of comments talking about that the Turbo RZR doesn't have engine braking. I was like, what are you talking about? Mine does. Mine Road. I saw that on here. Yeah, it says Mine Road to Alice. I have no idea what Alice is. Is it Wonderland? Well, that's it. So we are in Alice, Colorado. And that's it. We did 8.3 miles, according to the GPS. So even those maps were wrong, saying 15 miles. It's only 8. That's a moderate trail. That's okay. I'd probably give it a 4. A hard 3. Scenery's okay. I was expecting some abandoned mines and whatnot, but there's none of that on this trail. So, but if you're in the area and you're looking for a trail to do, it's not too bad. And that one gentleman we met on the trail there, he said to do Pickle Gulch Road, so I'll do some research on that one and look it up. As he said, there's some abandoned mines on there, so we'll go and check that out at a later time. But right now we're in Alice, Colorado. We'll do a turnaround, and I'm going to hit up the spurs and offshoots. But we'll go ahead and tie it up here, as we did Yankee Hill, 8 miles. Give it a hard 3, soft 4 on a trail difficulty. And this is Bold Outdoors. So, peace.